Hi guys. So today this is the front-end project I'm working on. So the test name is to-do list, and the problem statement is to just create a simple to-do list with vanilla JS. So these are the features that are required: minimal design with HTML and CSS, a text box at the top to add a to-do item, an add button, a delete button, a checkbox to check the item, and we also need to add some styling to differentiate the checked item from the rest of the items, and the total number of tasks in the list should be displayed. Okay, so and they've also given a sample over here. So we have replicated this. So first let's look into the code. So this is a HTML page which we have done. This is the link for the style sheet. We'll see the style sheet a little later. So the approach was like using a section element of the HTML. So in the section element, we have got a header part, and the header part we have got an input and a button. As given in the requirement sheet, there is an input to write whatever the to-do item we need, and a button to add the to-do to the list. And next we have a main section where we have added a wrapper and all the labels. So these are the labels that we will use to complete all the tasks at once and clear all the completed tasks at once. They sort of act like filters, you can say. Okay, so over here we see an unordered list, and inside this list elements will be added through JavaScript dynamically. And we have given a comment over here saying to do items will be dynamically generated here. That's what I was just explaining. So and after that section we have got a footer section over here, or you can simply call it a footer. So in that footer we have a strong class with tasks left. So as you remember in the sheet, they have given number of tasks should be represented, like how many remaining tasks are there. So we have done this to achieve that functionality over here. And these are the filters that we will help us to determine how many tasks are total, which will be displayed with the all filter. And active is for uncompleted things, like whatever tasks you have not yet completed, and the completed thing, as you might have already guessed it, it's for what are the things we have already completed. And if you notice over here, one minute, the thing they have given is that a checkbox item should remain in the list. Check item should stay in the list. Okay, so that's that we will actually achieve that functionality with this thing. So next, let's look at the scripting thing. So one minute, over here we have added a bunch of event listeners, which will be grabbing it to accomplish tasks at later stage. So first thing, we have gotten up to update to do thing. So this update to do helps us to update and set the item to our local storage. And we are using local storage for saving the task list items over here. This the render to do list function is for rendering all the elements based on the filters or whatever it may occur. So you can see a function written for filter to dos, which as I mentioned earlier, using that filters we will be filtering what are all the completed tasks and active tasks, and we will be displaying them. So active count will be an important element over here, which how many tasks are active will be determining with that element. We'll be adding functionality to it at a later stage. We will see that. So I've added a bunch of template literal over here for representing the list item, and we'll append the list item, and as I mentioned earlier, we'll be updating the total count, which I'll show you a demo in a short while, but we'll be using a ternary operator to determine the count and update it. So let's brush through the functions a little quicker. So function add to do, as you might have known, we are adding to add a to do to our list, and this is the structure which I formed for my list item. It will have an ID, a title, and a completed label, which we'll use to verify whether it's completed or not. And remove to do will be removing the list item completely from our to do list. We will be calling an update to do function, as we have seen it earlier. uh, Toggle to do completion is when we need to complete that item. There will be a checkbox, and when we click the checkbox, it will be toggled to a completion state. Clear completed is that when we are going to clear completed, it will be removed from the list. Edit to do, this is a functionality where we are going to edit the list items title. So whatever we are going to do in the list, we will be able to edit it. Next, handle toggle all. So we'll be toggling everything like complete all function I mentioned earlier, right? That is that function. This function will be helping us to achieve that functionality. So for if you look further down, there is a bunch of code, and over here I'll just explain what it is. I have already added a key press thing and all. So when we press enter, the task will automatically be entered down. We necessarily don't need to go and press the button. Even if you press the button, it will work, and even for the key press, it will work. So this double click event over here is added for the edit functionality. I'll show you in a short while in the demo for that. And yeah, this all handles that functions, and it will be for a rendering function which will be handling. And finally we are going to call the render to-do list, the function which we saw earlier, which will be rendering the list based on if we have applied any filters or not. Now let's just look at the GitHub repository here. I've already uploaded all the files which we have seen over here. Our style.cs is already there, and we'll look the project first. So yeah, this is the project which I have achieved. So yeah, I have literally like replicated the project which was there over here. Just a minute, sorry. Yeah, we over here we see I have done it quite exactly over here. So yeah, we can add a to-do list like say now complete the project, and it will get updated into the list. So now, as I mentioned earlier, we have an update functionality. So wake up at 5 a.m. is already checked. I don't want that. So when I uncheck that, you can see the task, 3 tasks left are right there. So it updates to 4, and you can also edit this. Once we double click, we'll be able to go to the edit updating functionality. So instead of wake up at 5 a.m., I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. And after this, I'm going to press enter, and the task gets updated over here. So now complete all tasks. Everything is completed and 0 tasks are left. So if you go to uncompleted, 0 tasks are going to be left because we have completed all the tasks. If you go to completed, all the 4 tasks are displayed over here. So I'm going to uncheck 1 and 2. You can see and come to all part over here. So now I'm going to uncheck this, uncheck that. Now we have 2 tasks left. So if you go to uncompleted, there should be 2 tasks, and yes, there are. If you go to completed, another 2 different tasks should be over here. And yes, both of them are completed, and as mentioned in the sheet, we have all distinguished it with the line through functionality. So once you press clear completed, wake up at 4 a.m. and complete the project should be clear. And yes, there it is. We have achieved the functionality which was requested. Thanks guys.